Shalom. First and foremost, I have to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Yahweh, being the true name, worldly calls God, Ba'ashem, being the name of, and Yahushai, being the true name of our Lord and Savior, who the worldly calls Jesus, and Rakakwadash, being the Holy Spirit. More respect to you, you Akim, and Akwaf, pushing the work of the Lord in true faith and sincerity, continue to promote your body as a living sacrifice in these perilous and gruesome times, and abiding in faith of in Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, in true faith and sincerity, Yahweh Shema Shai Barakatah, may the Lord bless you, and double honors to Apostle Elders, a great millstone, that rule well and that are worthy of double honors, man, so today in this edification and exhortation, I'm going to be basically going over, in the sit down that, ultimately this thing of ours is a marathon and not a race. It's a marathon and not a race, man. And the reason why I say that, man, is that ultimately this thing of ours, man, is a thing that requires, endurance, man, and not, ultimately, vast energy just all the way, and when you mature more and more in this truth, you start to realize that, man, because when you first receive this knowledge, man, you want to tell everybody, you want to, be on another level, so quick, but the thing is that it's ultimately a process, man. It's a process. It's a learning experience, especially, this lesson is towards, the new brothers, who are young in the faith, probably not, physically, young, but, it is truth, because when you first come to the truth, man, you become a babe, you know what I'm saying? You become reborn again. You're ultimately in a babe-like state, in a baby state, because you're ultimately rewiring your mind. So ultimately, it's like you start all over, man. It's like you got to learn how to walk again. You know what I'm saying? So, this is a learning experience, man. It's steps to this thing, man. You can't just wake up tomorrow, and become on the same level, as the elders, man. You have to ultimately, keep learning, man. Because you don't just build knowledge overnight. You know what I'm saying? It's a process. It requires constant study, and patience, man. In this truth, the main thing you learn is ultimately patience, man. And what do you need, to ultimately be saved by the Lord is faith. And what has to be required to ultimately have faith? Patience, man. So this is why I say it's a marathon, because the difference between a marathon and a race is that, a marathon is a game of endurance, man. So you ultimately pace yourself, man. You ultimately pace yourself, and that's what you got to do in this truth, man. You can't just be going 100 miles per hour, man. You eventually going to fall off, man. You know what I'm saying? Being over righteous, you got brothers out here, making 100 lessons a day. You know what I'm saying? That's good and all, but, you have to ultimately make sure that if you're doing all those lessons, you proclaiming yourself to be a teacher, which we're supposed to teach, the scriptures tell us to teach, but also the scriptures say we have to be students, man. We have to meditate upon the scriptures day and night. So you can't be doing all these lessons, man, post them on YouTube, all that, but you're not even learning your own self, man. And I got inspiration to do this lesson, man, of two things, man. Like the rapper Nipsey Hussle, he always lived by, the moral of, life's a marathon and not a race, which means that you have to have the trait of endurance, man, the ability to have endurance, man, in this truth, in this faith, because we go through a lot of things, man, and also, man, it's a process, man. It's a learning experience, you may mess up, but you gotta, keep going, man, because ultimately a learning experience. And the second, you know, reason why, man, you know, I got testimony, man. So basically, the Lord, you know, you know how you have service on your phone, right? So basically, the Lord basically like delayed it, right? And you know, basically, you know, caused like my YouTube, you know, which is where I post edification, you know, etc., to ultimately be down. So the servers were down, man. You know, like everywhere I go, it wasn't just at my household, but everywhere I go, like I could not access YouTube, and 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 so what I was doing, man, you know, I literally noticed that I was going off. You know, what I was doing was that I was barely, you know, being a student, man. You know, like I would do lessons, like a bunch of lessons, but ultimately I wouldn't, you know, I wasn't, you know, at the time, you know, meditating upon the scriptures. So basically the Lord took away the ability to, for me to do lessons for about a week. You know, that's why I wasn't posting for a week, you know, to ultimately make me appreciate doing lessons even more, you know, because some people just do lessons, man, just for the hell of it, you know what I'm saying? You know, but you know, with those lessons, you have to actually learn, man. Before you teach anybody else, you have to teach yourself, man. You have to ultimately make sure you teach yourself, you know, because there's people out here, man, doing all this teaching, but you know, don't even apply, you know, what they're teaching, man, you know, or are not doing or not rehearsing the righteous acts, man, as the scriptures say, you know, and ultimately, the Lord, you know, basically, you know, took away, you know, the ability for me to, you know, post edification online, and he actually made me go into like, you know, a meditative state, you know, of being in the scriptures. You know, and throughout the week, man, I had basically nothing to do. I couldn't watch any YouTube, couldn't watch entertainment. So that ultimately forced me to ultimately actually read the scriptures, man. You know, so on my alone time, man, you know, I was reading scriptures, meditating on it, man. Reading the stories of Yahweh Shai, you know, and all that. You know, going to the scriptures, you know, and watching a few brothers, man. You know, only thing I could watch really brothers on was Facebook, because there's some, you know, sincere brothers on Facebook who post edification that teach right doctrine, you know, and I just kept watching, you know, basically being a student, continuing to be a student, and then after, magically, you know, after a week got past, the Lord just put my service back, and then I realized it's uh, dang, you know, the Lord, you know, ultimately showed me, man, that I have to continue to be a student, man, because obviously, you know, you excel in this truth, you learn more breakdowns and all that. You feel like you the man, you know, you feel like you almost like an elder, but you have to understand that the best teachers were the greatest teachers, you know, were great students, man. You know, so you have to ultimately continue to learn in this thing, man. You know, it's a process. You know, you're not going to be at the level of the elders, you know, overnight. You know what I'm saying? The elders, man, Elder Apostle Tahar, you know, and on down, you know, they had to put serious work to have the knowledge, you know, and go through serious things, you know, to ultimately be at the level that they are right now, man. You know, to be, you know, great at something, you got to go through hell. So if they're the elders of Israel, man, you know, what, you don't think they had to go through, you don't think they had to go through a bunch of things? Yes, they had to. They basically did the homework for us, man, you know? So you can't be out of respect. You can't be out here, you know, speaking like you an elder or something, man. You don't know that much things, and also, you don't have experience, man, because you can know the breakdowns and all that, but it's the experience, man. This truth is not just, you know, reading the scriptures, posting, you know, edification, you know, on YouTube. It's deeper than that, man. It's about the experience. It's about ultimately, you know, applying the things of the scriptures to your daily life, you know. It's not just posting stuff on YouTube. You're going to go through things outside of the battlefield, man. You know, you're going to go through spiritual attacks and all that, man. You know, so the Lord might, you know, take you away from teaching for a little bit, you know, for you to ultimately experience, you know, certain, you know, physical things to ultimately boost up your faith. And that's what the Lord did to me, man. At first, I was like, I used to get mad at myself, man, if I didn't do a lesson, you know, on a particular day. But you have to understand that you have to ultimately follow the Spirit, man. Of course, you're supposed to have the mentality to always put in the work, you know, but sometimes the Lord may not want you to do that lesson, you know, to ultimately, you know, show you something else, man. You know, to show you something else to boost your faith, you know. So it's not all about just doing lessons, you know, and teaching all day. You have to ultimately be a student. You got to make sure you're meditating on the scriptures. You know, you watching, you know, brothers, you know what I'm saying, watching other brothers, you know, continuing to be a student, man, because the greatest teachers were great students. The elders, you know, of Israel right now, man, you know, they were great students too, man. You know, they used to listen to High Priest Arya, you know, etc., man. You know, they were great students, man. That's how they're at the level that they are right now. So, and also they were patient, man. You know, they didn't just receive, you know, wake up one day and just knew all the scriptures. They had to be in constant study. They had to do constant prayer and fasting. You know what I'm saying? And they had to go through certain experiences, man. You know, so don't you notice it's all a process, man? You start from getting the truth. You know, the Lord puts you through things, your faith increases. The Lord puts you through more things, faith increases. You learn more things, it increases. So it's ultimately a process, man, step by step, man. You know, step by step, man. You know, sometimes, you know, a way your faith boosts or the way you get higher, you know, in this thing is by going through something. You might slip. You know, you have to understand the Lord works in mysterious ways. The Lord might cause you to slip so you can get 10 times better, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at the bright side of certain things, man. You know, don't get too down on yourself, man. You know, a righteous man falls 7 times and get back up, man. You know, roughly paraphrasing, man. And ultimately, remember, you know, don't burn yourself out, you know, in this thing, man. Trying to do but like 100 lessons, man. You know, let the Spirit flow, man. You know, let the Spirit flow. And this, one thing you're gonna realize, man, is that you have to allow the Spirit do what it do, man. You know, you can't be out here forcing things, man. You know, like you in a gathering with the elders or something, or you know, or like, you know, you're in the highways and byways, or you doing a lesson with someone. You don't gotta add on to everything, man. You know, you in this thing, man. As you mature in this truth, you start to realize, man, that you have to be an observer, man. You know, you have to be an observer. The Lord didn't give you 2 eyes, 2 ears, even a nose to smell shit, man. You know, for no reason. It's because those are all, you know, ultimately devices to observe. You know, so you're supposed to observe your surroundings, man, at all times, man. You know, sometimes you don't gotta be telling the precept that you have in mind all the time, man. You don't gotta add on to everything. You know, just let it flow. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately observe, man. Observe. You know, and a student, the only way it increases knowledge is by observing, man. So you have to constantly observe, man. You know? You have to constantly observe. You know? Observe. Observing is a key thing to ultimately be successful at a craft. Even if you look at a predator, man. A predator, you know, it observes the prey. You know, so it can ultimately get the prey, which is the goal. You know? The predator's not here talking blah, 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 blah. No, he's observing. And then he gets the prey. That's how you gotta be, man. You know, you learn by observing. You know, observing your surrounding. You know, observing, you know, the situation. You know what I'm saying? But as you mature more in the truth, you start to notice that, man. You know, in you start to mature in the truth, as you know, you build more faith, you start to notice, man, that you don't really gotta talk that much. When you first receive the truth, you know, you wanted to tell everybody. Especially me, I wanted to tell everybody. I remember one time, man, I'm a young brother, man, so I was in the car with one of my friends in the world, man, around that time. And the spirit went on me to just, they were Ephraimites, man. So the spirit went on me to, just basically, give them the word, show them that they're Israelites and all that. I was even confounding my mom's friend, showing her that the man and the woman's not equal. Just basically wanted to tell everybody. But as you realize more and more is that you become more quieter, man. You become more quieter and you observe, and that's how you gotta be, man. Because you realize, man, what you're getting yourself into, man. This is a very, dangerous job, man. So you have to be an observer, man. The quietest person in the room is the most dangerous person in the room. You know what I'm saying? And also, man, don't be quick to rush the process, man. It's called the process for a reason. You know what I'm saying? A process takes time. You can't, be so fast, try to, get things so fast. You have to allow it to come to you, man. And that comes with experience, you know what I'm saying? Even the scripture says the swift is not meant to win the race, man. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, roughly paraphrasing, you can't be out here trying to force everything, man, trying to speed things up, doing 100 lessons, trying to become an elder overnight. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to do that, man. Just do what you gotta do, man. But that demon, that approval demon that hops on brothers, man. You gotta rebuke that, man. Some brothers, man, want to be approved, get approval by other brothers so bad, man. You shouldn't be doing it for men. You should be doing it for the Lord. All the works that you do should be for the Lord, man. Not for the side of men. You know what I'm saying? So don't be out here trying to show, basically show off and all that, man. Doing 2,000 lessons a day, them 2,000 lessons, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's a commandment to ultimately, edify, but you have to understand, man, we're going to be saved by faith, we're most importantly going to be saved by faith, you know what I'm saying? And faith comes by certain experiences, man, not just posting 5,000 lessons a day, you got to go through experiences, man, so, just be poised in this thing, man. If you see every, especially when it comes to athletics, man, the top athletes, man, they're very, they have their own pace. You know what I'm saying? They have their own pace. Nothing speeds them up. Nothing slows them down. They're just in that middle. They're in that still state, man. So that's how you got to be, man. You can't be so fast. You can't be too slow. You got to be in the middle. You got to have that balance. In this truth, you also realize, you also learn the art of balance, man. You got to be balanced in everything. You got to be flexible. You know what I'm saying? So, you have to be poised, man. You got to be paced. Don't try to, speed up the process, man. Because ultimately, it's the Lord, directing your steps, man. Not everything's going to go the way you want to, man, because man's goings are the Lord, so you have to ultimately be patient, man. You got to, it's a marathon, and you have to ultimately have that endurance, man, to keep going. You got to have endurance in this thing, man. Don't burn yourself out, I got to do 7,000 lessons a day. If the Spirit tells you to do one lesson, then do one lesson, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you teach, you got to make sure you know what you're talking about, man. The scriptures say, study to make thyself approved. You can't be out here trying to be a teacher, but then you're getting confounded by a nigga in the world who don't even know the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure you study to make thyself approved. Don't try to rush yourself into being a teacher. If you still got to learn, then learn, man. Being a learner is not a bad thing, man. Because all the greats, in any craft were once learners, man. And they were excellent learners, man, observers. So basically observe, man, observe. The Lord gave you all these tools to observe, and sometimes it's best to be quiet, man. Sometimes you don't gotta say every single word, you know what I'm saying, that comes to your mind, man. And ultimately, trust the Spirit. Allow the Spirit to flow, man. Don't force things, man. I read this book called The Art of Allowing. You gotta allow things to happen so you don't burn yourself out, man. Mentally, physically, you know what I'm saying? So brothers, man, remember, it's a marathon, not a race. Poise yourself, man. Continue to endure. Have that endurance to keep going, man. Don't burn yourself out, man. Lord willing, gratified to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem El Shai, Bashem Karkadash, man. Keep the faith, man. Don't burn yourself out, man. Remember, man, slow and steady always wins the race. So take your time in this thing, man. Don't be trying to be a teacher so fast. In order to be a teacher, you have to know your facts, man. But even the best teachers, ultimately are still learning, man. Because this is still a learning experience, man. So continue to learn, man. Even Yahweh Shai, man. He was humble enough to learn, to keep learning. Even though he was the son of the Most High, he was still humble. So you gotta keep learning, man. You never stop learning, man, in this truth. You never stop learning. You always learn something new every single day. You know what I'm saying? So keep the faith, man. Continue to keep learning, man. Have that endurance. Shalom. Ball. Death to America.